Hello and welcome to another video, and I'm recording this on just as the Saturday morning's coming to an end. Try to have a nice chilled Saturday after a busy week. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Only a few sleeps till Christmas to go. Well, 4 weeks thereabouts. Anyways, I saw this. This is quite interesting. I mean, we've had PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. They've been separate things for a while, and they've never really quite offered me what I want. I mean, I did try a demo, like a free trial for a week of PlayStation Now some time ago. Quite frankly, I only used it like on 1 or 2 games. Didn't bother after that because you have to stream the game and then you get lag like the Amico. So I don't really want lag. I prefer to download the games like the Xbox Game Pass, which is what Sony are trying to emulate here basically. So this is written by Jason Schreier from Kotaku, unless he's left them and gone to Bloomberg. It's website founded by Michael Bloomberg, who spent $500 million trying to become US president and failing miserably, only to be replaced by a vigorous young go-getter called Joe Biden, who then fell asleep at COP26, that so important climate change conference, where they talk about mankind damaging the planet. And then Joe Biden, like a lot of other world leaders, took an 85 strong motorcade to over to bloody COP26 and G20 and all the rest of it. So all these world leaders are all completely full of it. But anyway, I'm getting off the beaten track a bit here. I mean, just going into Xbox Game Pass, I bought a 3-year subscription to that in June 2019. At the time when you could convert Xbox Gold into Game Pass Ultimate for $1. So I hadn't used Game Pass, so I hadn't used Xbox Gold for quite some time. I remember having it for a couple of years when Xbox first started in 2001, and I enjoyed it for a time. But then I wasn't using the online multiplayer stuff, and I still don't really. So there was no sort of point to carrying on. But for this, you get all the, obviously we covered this before. You get the games and so on that you can play endless, over 100 games on the service. So basically, it was a bit of a bum tickly time for this, bum clenching time, because I spent 120 quid on 3 years worth of gold in the hope that this would actually work. I mean, as I understood, it would, but if you spend 120 quid, you're not going to get that refunded if for some reason it doesn't work. But anyways, I spent 120 quid, got me 3 years of gold. I didn't buy it all directly through Xbox. I bought one through these sort of CD keys kinds of websites. The prices differed, and then the offers disappeared, so I couldn't get them all from one website. So anyway, I had 3 years worth of gold, spent the $1, so it comes up as about 87 pence on my the purchase list, and then it was converted to Game Pass Ultimate. Although there's the EA Games launcher you get now with it as well, but that hasn't worked for about 3 or 4 months. It's an absolute pile of crap, that is. Tried getting involved with their thread about it on their website, the EA Games website, and said, oh yeah, we'll look into it. Never did bloody work. Absolute shite. Anyway, but the trouble with this thing is that it's like a gym subscription. You sort of forget to use it half the time. So when we get around to June 2022, I won't be subscribing to it again. But anyway, so we'll see what they're going to say here. So it's going to be Codename Spartacus, and obviously we've got a picture of a big PS5. This is an annoying website, I'll tell you actually, because it comes up with the usual cookies crap I don't want to hear about. I tried to reject them all. Then it came up, once I'd got rid of that, it came up with a thing in the middle saying, do you want to subscribe to our newsletter? No, I do not. And now there's this crap at the bottom. Your monthly limit of free content is about to expire. Stay on top of historic market volatility. Blah. Try 3 months for $50 a week. No, I don't want any free trials and shit. Why would I bother? If for any reason I can't get my gaming news from Bloomberg, which I've only got as after doing a Google, I'll just look at any other website. There's billions of websites out there. Why the fuck would I just bother with this? Anyway, so getting into the meat of it, this Codename Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. can we get this text bigger? Yeah, let's have it nice and big. Sadly, that shit at the bottom decides to stay. So it's saying Sony planning to this new subscription service to rival Xbox Game Pass. Codename Spartacus, it will allow PlayStation owners to pay a monthly fee, so it's a basic kind of thing, for access to a catalogue of modern and classic games. I mean, it will have some things coming up that in this article that do look interesting, though. So yeah, you can access a catalogue of modern and classic games. Said the people who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorised to speak to the press. So it's a leak. They've got a source. The offering will likely be available on PS4 and the PS5, which is pretty obvious. So it's expected to merge both PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. So PlayStation Plus is required for most online multiplayer games, offers free monthly titles. I've seen people talk about the ones that are coming out for December. One of them was Godfall, which I've not played, but it didn't look fantastic. It looked pretty generic. And apparently this new version it's not a full game. It's just a demo of the end of the game. So it just levels you up to maximum points, lets you play the end game again. Well, then the end game for the first time without going through the grind of getting to the end, which sounds a bit bloody ridiculous. Yeah, so PS Now allows you to stream. Well, it says download older games. Maybe download is something they've brought in. I don't know. When I tried it, it was streaming only. But if it can download, let me know in the comments below. It says it's going to retain the PlayStation Plus branding, but phase out PlayStation Now. Well, yeah, I mean you can't keep calling them two different things. I mean I kept thinking that Xbox games with gold would disappear and get absorbed into Game Pass, but that's still hanging about like a bad smell for whatever reason. It says the details on Spartacus may not still be finalised. Well, obvious, because it's going to be a few months before this comes out. But documentation outlines a service with 3 tiers. So the first includes PlayStation Plus benefits, the existing ones. The second includes a large catalogue of PS4 and eventually PS5 games, so that's interesting. So the third tier, and as long as they don't screw this up like Nintendo's botched attempt to have N64 games on the system with Nintendo Switch Online, the third tier would add extended demos, game streaming, and a classic library of PS1, PS2, and PS3, and PSP games. So what about PS Vita? Anything from PS Vita? Unless you've got a PS Vita that can do those games anyway. So yeah, those are pretty cool. But obviously they didn't. No one wanted to comment. No one at Sony wanted to spill the beans, unsurprisingly. It says although PlayStation has outsold the Xbox in recent years, Sony has lagged behind on behind them on the subscription front. Well, that's true. I mean, both these companies are buying up loads and loads of third-party game developers all the time, so often that I just lose track of them all. Yeah, but it was obvious that Sony were going to try and do this at some point. It was pretty obvious. But Microsoft Game Pass, yeah, it's pretty much the Netflix of video games. I know they have tried to do some games lately, but I've not got into that. I'm not quite sure how I need to go about that. Whether it's something I need to look into or whether the games are any good, who knows? But yeah, you can pay. Well, this is with Game Pass. You can pay $10 to $15 a month. So I've paid 120 quid for 3 years, which equates to about £3.50 thereabouts per month. That's fine. I mean, that's a bargain. You know, it's less than the price of a pint of lager each month. But I'm not going to pay. You know, I think it's like 11 quid for Game Pass Ultimate a month. I wouldn't be paying that. I mean, if you use it all the time, it's good value, fine. But I don't use it all the time, so I wouldn't get the value out of it, sadly. But if you do, then, you know, good luck to you. It says it's built its overall strategy around the service in recent years, which is what we've seen, putting all of its internally published games on Game Pass as soon as they're released. Well, I did play Forza Horizon 5 for a little while, and I found it wasn't quite as good as WRC 10, you know, because I like racing games, but I like games that you'll start at the next race. I don't want to be having to drive to the next race. That's what annoyed me about Forza Horizon 5. A bit like it's like I love the original Burnout games many moons ago, and then we had I think Burnout 3 on the original Xbox was my favourite. But then they brought out Burnout Paradise, where you had to drive to each of the next races, and I hated that. Just put me at the start of the next race. So annoying. And Forza's doing that as well. Forza Horizon 5. Why bother? So I got bored of that. I know Halo Infinite's out soon. I'll check it out, but I'm not, big on that. I'm not really big on the Halo franchise. But yeah, it says, and talking about third-party companies, it says they made big acquisitions such as Bethesda for $7.5 billion. Good God, where do you get that kind of money from? Sony's also putting resources into expanding its efforts into cloud gaming with, obviously Microsoft have got their xCloud thing as well. I've not tried game streaming on the, I like to try and capture any gameplay footage I do. So why do I want to go and sit elsewhere in the house with the game streaming to my phone? And generally, the Xbox would presumably have to be on anyway in order to deliver the game to my phone. I don't know. I don't know quite how it works, but I'd rather just have it on the console. Then I know there's no lag issues and so on, and download it to the console and everything's happy. But anyway, so I don't know. What do you think of this? If they have a decent price for it, yes, but you can't keep paying to subscribe to everything. So we'll see what comes of it. Anyway, it could be interesting depending on what games they have. But anyway, we'll have to see what's announced. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis. And have a good weekend.